Piper with the weekend video, and it's Saturday the 4th of November. I'll start with a quick look at Bitcoin in general. I mean, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin trade as I call it, is now a 10-bagger. It was about $700 when I got in almost a year ago exactly. It's now over $7,000, so 1,000%. The way I've actually done this is actually my own gains around 2,000%, and that's all in the Bitcoin Business in a Box course, which is available on the email with this video for just £37 down for the first 3 modules. It's not an expensive course, but I think it's extremely valuable. The chart I'm showing you is the supply of Bitcoin. You'll see that the red arrow on the chart indicates where we are now, and the vast majority of Bitcoin have already been issued. And although they will continue to be issued until 2084, it's very much a dwindling supply in terms of the number of Bitcoin left available. Not quite the same in the value of Bitcoin still available, because of course it keeps going up. Now, I recently watched a video, it was by a guy, actually I put a link in the email, who's just set up a hedge fund, £500 million fund to invest in cryptocurrencies. This guy's at the heart of Wall Street, and he said, I can hear the herd coming. And he probably can, basically based, as he is actually in Wall Street, I think with Goldman Sachs, then he probably can hear the herd as it gets itself together to get involved in this. I mean, there are always going to be setbacks, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Bitcoin above 10,000, possibly before year end, but certainly next year, and could easily be much higher. I mean, is it possible we could see another 10 times gain in the next year? It's certainly not impossible. I would not actually be that surprised to see it up another 10 times. Because I think once the institutions get involved, as they are doing now, we now have contracts on the futures options exchanges just awaiting approval by the SEC. They may, of course, turn it down. That would be a bit of a setback. But I think they'll probably approve it. I suspect that there are enough people, enough insiders in Wall Street now interested that they'll probably look at it as a way to make money, and they'll probably want to, and they may feel it's absorbing it into the mainstream in some way. So I think there's probably likely that it will be approved. Certainly the price is suggesting that's the case. So you have more people trading Bitcoin, more demand, more interest. If I go on to the next chart. Well, this chart is actually Bitcoin users as measured by number of wallets. Now most people have more than one wallet. I have about 10 myself. So 18 million wallets divided by 10 comes to 1.8. But one estimate is there are 5 million users, which of course is a very tiny number in the sense of people who can get involved in this. I mean, certainly a huge amount of scope. And you see that the rise in numbers has been pretty steady since November 16, from about 9 million up to around 18 million. So it's doubled in that year. In fact, this was exactly when I got involved, funny enough. I'm sure that's not a relevant factor. So still many people get involved. I say when the herd comes in, that's when we're starting to see the serious money turning into the masses. So phase 1 is when the nerds get in, the people, the insiders. Phase 2 is when the smart money gets in, and nerds get rich. That's where we are now, and the sort of thundering herd is just around the corner, I think. So I think there's huge potential here. If you look at the internet bubble as a comparison, at its peak there's about 6.5 trillion in internet shares. Bitcoin is currently worth about 200 billion. So I think that's probably quite a reasonable comparison. So 200 billion to 6.5 trillion is a multiple of some thousands, I believe. I get confused with trillions. But certainly there's a lot more to come. My belief is that it's going to happen fairly quickly, and that the setbacks will be buying opportunities, and they will not be that savage. All right, finally a quick service announcement. Next week I'm attending a conference with some people who actually manage money with Bitcoin. I'm planning to put a bit more cash into this. It's one way I want to do it. So I want to check out these people, and I'll be telling you more about that once I've been on the conference. But it is a 3-day conference, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I won't be able to do my normal Thursday report for subscribers, but I will be updating the WhatsApp room during that time. Right, let's look at the markets now. But before I do so, must have mentioned a thank you to Dollar Vigilante for the use of their charts. Strongly recommend the service. Great videos I post on the WhatsApp room quite frequently, and they do a monthly newsletter as well, which is full of good stuff, even for not just cryptos, but also gold and various other things. Right, so let's head on to the markets. Right, the first market today is going to be pound dollar. We went short of pound dollar a while ago. Basically seeing this one I think is a one wave here. There are various counts here. Got a bit messy up here. This could have been the two wave with a one, the regular ABC2 perhaps, not an ideal count. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And the break here could make it the third of a third. So if I had an extreme stop below here, which I broadcast in the room, WhatsApp room. Also in my video on Tuesday, so this is telling this spike on the news. We had the Bank of England, sorry, it's up here, wasn't it? Bank of England news. They increased interest rates by a bit, but not very much. And they said that they won't do it much again, so the pound went down. But just before that blip down, there was a spike up. I'm not sure which one it was now, but one of those two spikes. You know, that was exactly what I said to do in the in Tuesday's videos. I hope some of you got on board that. That's the spike on Thursday, and the spiked up to there, and just came straight down. So it was a good, very good entry point. Now looking at gold, continues to hesitate. We've got a big one there, a big one here, which is the 2016 advance. ABC, very messy here, and I counted this as a 1, 2, 1, 2. It's now found support on the 200-day moving average. I think it might well determine what's going to happen next, and so far that's held quite well. I've got good break there, in the sense that it bounced back pretty quickly. The actual form here is not ideal though. Let's go down a leg from the daily chart. So far we've just seen an ABC really, A, B, C, solid spike there, down we come again. So really not a huge amount to go on, but it could be building a base, but I'd like to see a bit more happen that is positive for bailing on board. And we are officially long of gold stocks, ETFs, etc. Have been for some time. From lower levels, it's just a question of when to add to those positions. Right, FTSE has finally put in some action. I'm looking for well, the wave count's quite clear. This is a wave 4 down. 1, 2, 3, clear fourth wave. Bit of a mess, but clear fourth wave. Looks like a 1, 2, not again, a bit messy up here as well, but this looks like a 3 coming in. So I'm still looking for a move above 676. And I say FTSE's got the clearest pattern really at the moment. We see 5 waves up. We've got 3 so far, so another blip down maybe, then move up next week above 7.6. We could finally see a peak of some importance. I'll have a quick look at the other markets, see whether DAX and Dow, to see whether they've got any confirmation of that. But for now, it looks like a peak on FTSE is fairly imminent. Having said that, we are in November, so the December rally influence can start coming in quite soon. So it may be that any setback will be quite mild, and just give way to the December rally quite quickly. And it may be that any kind of peak will come in over the new year. That's one of the favourite times when, you know, the New Year's Day is one of the most optimistic, the New Year's Eve, I guess, fueled by much alcohol, is one of the most optimistic days of the year. Everybody looks forward to what's coming next, celebrates what went, and we have had a couple of major peaks in that period on FTSE in 1999 and on Nikkei Dow in 1986, I think, probably a little bit. Sorry, 1986 or thereabouts, maybe 1999. I had to check. Anyway, definitely it's a key time in the most positive era, and market peaks are built on positive sentiment. Looking at the DAX from this fourth wave here, got a clear 1, 2, and this could be a 3 to there with a 4 and a 1, 2. Could be complete actually, but I think perhaps another rally is more likely. Let's have a look at the shorter term action. Here's a 5-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. This could be a 2, although it's quite impulsive. We have got an overlap of this move and this move. It's getting really messy actually. I think could go either way at the point. Certainly a peak is due. This could be the beginning of something, certainly. By the way, if you want to know the size of the charts, and it's this number here shows you whether this is a 5-minute chart, as I said. The Dow, we saw a fourth wave low here. Possible rising wedge type pattern, I suppose. It could be. I can't say much to hang your hat on, really. And these markets seem to want to go up and up and up, regardless of various people's projections of the eventual peak. Personally, the safest thing to do is actually wait for 5 waves down in ABC, which is some clarity and short that, rather than trying to project the peak, I think. Of course, the best thing is to be long, but difficult to buy these markets at this point, and Bitcoin does offer much better rewards. I mean, 1,000% in 1 year dwarfs what the stock market, US stock market, or anything else has done in the last year, certainly. This is a log scale chart of Bitcoin going back to 2013, so you can see a great big one here. I mean, that's from pretty much 0 to 950 over, I think, a 4-year period or thereabouts. Then there's a great big 2 wave down to here, and the rest is all rather dwarfed, but the low is in 2015, so this is then a 3rd wave coming in. But that obviously is a massive wave from around, well, below 70 or thereabouts, well, in fact, below 1, up to 950, so a huge gain there. And this 3rd wave, we'll now look at it a bit more closely. Right, so all this is the third wave. We've got the, this is a log scale, so the 3rd wave, which is the move between around March 2017 up to the peak in June, is the longest. The 5th wave, what we've seen recently, we've gone, of course, much higher in dollar terms, so taking it up to about 5.2. This is a 4 wave, as I've been saying, and this is the 5th wave. Looking at more detail, when that's over, all we will have seen is the completion of the move from here. So we'll still be due a 4th wave and a 5th wave. So 4th wave support will come in around here, around 3,000, so it should do. Let's go down and have a look at the action since around the 3,000. Okay, so strictly we have the low here. This could be a 1, 2, and a 1, 2. Looks like a 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there, and a 4, and a 1, 2. It could either be a 1, 2, 3, 4 with another 5, and then a 4 and a 5. And even then, we'd still have this 1, 2 here to deal with. 1, 2, 3 perhaps, 4 and a 5. And on a log scale, 10,000 is clearly a possibility at this stage, even before this year end. When I do Module 7, I'll look at this in some detail, look at the various associations between these various waves and see what the likelihood is. I think right now, the wave is still up. And it certainly is pretty positive news about the hedge funds, about the SEC considering the options and futures. The supply and demand, I think, is a very, very positive factor on this. So looking very good, I believe. And I plan to put more cash into Bitcoin at this point, and the conference next week will be very interesting also. Right, that's all for today. If you found that interesting and useful, back to the report on Tuesday morning for subscribers. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.